Hey, welcome to the best of everything. I am Ruben Paul, and across from me is my annoying brother from another mother, the one and only Johnny Coronavirus Sanchez.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Sorry we're a little late today, but as you can see, me and Johnny had to get out of town because of the virus. For you guys who are watching us,
normally we do this.
We're in the city.
We're in the city, downtown LA, and we decided to head up over to Tehachapi.
Yeah,
and so it's beautiful, great to be out here. We need to get away from everybody.
Yeah, man.
As we all know, there's huge things going on right now with the cancellation of Coachella. Stagecoach. They're canceled now. They're postponed.
Yeah,
until October if that happens. But still, that's a huge.
And they just announced that the Golden State Warriors are going to be playing in an empty arena with no fans.
With no fans. Which doesn't that take you back though? Shouldn't these guys feel like they're back on the playground? When they started, because you had friends around, but there wasn't a huge audience all the time.
But these guys have played at the highest level, and now you work your whole life to be able to play in front of these big crowds and everything. But people's health are utmost concern.
Here's a plus. I think the free throws percentages are going to go up
because of the silence.
Yes,
but I wonder if they're going to be able to televise those games, because you're going to be able to actually will you be able to actually hear what's going on the court? Because a lot of people don't even realize how much cussing and stuff goes on.
Yeah, because there's a lot of what do you mean with the crowd noise?
With the crowd gone and everything.
No, typically it gets drowned out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it gets drowned out.
Right. So now
because every once in a while when you're watching a game, even on TV with a full arena, you can hear somebody going, "Shut your ass up!" Like you can hear, and then you'll hear like the whatever network, they'll switch real quick to something else, or the announcer will start talking louder or whatever.
Do you guys remember when Baltimore had the riots, and the Orioles had a game at Camden Yards with no fans in there, and it was the weirdest thing.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah. I think I do.
Wait, Baltimore
Orioles baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Baltimore, how that was
it was like 3 years ago.
Oh, so they played a game with no fans.
No fans, just camera crew and media.
Interesting. But it hasn't.
I can't find us.
I don't know how much it's actually affected. How much it's actually affected comedy shows. I know some shows have been getting canceled, but
really?
Yeah, I know. Last night we had a good crowd. I know they did the benefit at the store for Brody, and that was packed.
For Brody Stevens, yeah.
So
it's interesting. I was talking to Chris about this, that I feel like comedy. Thank you. I feel like comedy will be one of the last places, because it is a good escape for people.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, well, if we're going to go anywhere, let's go, let's forget about night clubbing and let's go down to the comedy and laugh and get all this. It's not going to be off their mind because comics are going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
But
at least when comics are talking about it, we're bringing levity to the situation,
correct.
When they're coming to a club.
Yeah.
But,
I don't mean to, go ahead. Go ahead.
It just seems that when there's new things coming out about the virus every day, but but when you really, most of the cases, people actually dying are elderly people.
We were right. It's been majority elderly and people with underlying conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had some health issues themselves. I know I did hear of the first child that contracted it, which is a 7-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. Now, prior to that, it had only been adults. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that won't be. Or maybe they made. Hopefully, I'm hoping they made a mistake or something, because you don't want it to get it with the kids. And
but even with, there's been cases like, there's. Follow me on this.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between getting it and dying from it.
Sure, of course.
So, but there have been people of different ages that actually have contracted it, but have been treated and released,
like a severe flu.
Yeah. So, but if you're, let's just say 65 and older.
That's what they're saying, right.
Stay home.
Yeah. Seriously,
I mean, I didn't mean. I know that sounded probably
No, dude. I mean, the only reason. I mean, my parents are 83 and 84. So,
but knowing your dad, he's like, I'm not scared of no corona.
no, because he doesn't talk like that.
He doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, I know he doesn't.
No. You know what's his? No, but no, because I told you, as tough of a man he's been his whole life, he always has been susceptible to colds and flus. So I get more. Not my mom as much, but I get concerned with my dad. It's just, it's the weirdest thing, dude. Super healthy, strong man, lifting weights for 60 years,
man.
And yet a cold will knock him down, dude.
Yeah.
So, and then, if he gets a fever or something, I mean, he has to go to the doctor like immediately when he gets sick.
A lot of it comes from, we don't even realize our habits, and I know people are more conscious of it. It's just rubbing your eyes, touching
Dude, I do that. And once you're told, try not to do that.
Yeah.
You start to notice, because my nose is itching, right? Just the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I went like that. I'm trying to go like this and not touch it with my hands.
Yeah.
But normally, dude, I didn't realize how often I'm touching everything, because it gets in through your mouth, your nose, and your eyes.
Yeah.
So, but here's the other thing. They, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune start their tapings with no audience. And The View today, they had no audience in The View on that show. The one that's going to be probably the weird game show would be The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Who are they going to call down?
Yeah. No one.
Can't call anyone.
Can't do
but
it.
shows like certain game shows like The Price is Right, and what's the other one? Let's Make a Deal. Like you've got to have those people in there. They're the contestants. Audiences are the contestants. But gonna be trippy to see Wheel of Fortune, because the audience always claps. Jeopardy's the same thing. They get a double Jeopardy question, and people applaud. And
so, do you think people are overreacting?
I think the people who are going out and buying 30 things of toilet paper are overreacting.
Yeah.
But
because there's no hand sanitizer anywhere.
I know.
A lot of places sold out of toilet paper.
I know how to make it though. I know how I went on, they got it all over online now.
How to make hand
how to make a hand sanitizer.
How do you make it?
With rubbing alcohol that's over 91% alcohol. It's got to be over 91.
Yeah.
Best to just get the 99. And then aloe, gel aloe vera for your skin.
Yeah.
And you
shake it up.
You put if you want the normal dosage, it's 1/3 to 2/3. 1/3 aloe to 2/3 alcohol. If you don't mind alcohol, so you can put like a couple drops of essential oils. I get Bed Bath & Beyond, Body Works, all those places. I don't even know if I would need that. But if you want to go really strong, then you go 1/4 aloe and 3/4 rubbing alcohol, and you just mix them, and then you put them in a little thing. You squirt them in your hand.
Okay.
So
Johnny has told you how to make.
That's how you make hand sanitizer.
So
I guess I'm the new Breaking Bad.
Anyway,
what? I don't know.
It's just interesting. I have shows this week in Minnesota. I'm at the House of Comedy.
Oh yeah, huh? Oh, you betcha.
So I'm just curious on how that's going to affect.
It's too cold. You don't need to worry about it over there.
Really?
Nothing's going to travel.
But I know obviously in China, like I was saying, my friend in Hong Kong told me they closed the schools like weeks ago.
A lot of colleges, USC, and I know USC is everyone's going to start doing online classes.
Really?
Yeah. UCLA too, Chris? Have you heard UCLA? I know USC. Yeah, I heard that last night. Oh, both of them. Yeah, both. So USC, UCLA closed. Everybody's doing online. What if I could hack into that and get my degree from USC? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. So
it's crazy.
I wanted to go over the top 10 deadliest diseases.
Oh,
that have
okay.
That have come out. It's an article that I found.
All right.
There was a plague.
Oh, I see that Like an outbreak before.
An outbreak.
Like these are the top 10
Yeah,
okay,
the top 10 outbreaks before the coronavirus. You know,
bubonic.
Bubonic plague. Yeah, you know how that was transmitted, right? You remember?
No, I can't remember.
Through like flea bites and insect bites and stuff like that.
Oh,
that's how people.
Oh,
can you
wow.
imagine that, dude? Like having like you know,
and you can't even stop it. Could just happen.
So before the novel coronavirus, many momentous epidemics and pandemics altered the course of human history, killing large percentages of the global population. Compared with its predecessor, the coronavirus may seem pretty tame and not as deadly. However, it could soon be classified as pandemic if it continues its rapid spread.
Yeah.
So
I thought they just claimed pandemic yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
So
yeah, right? Yep.
So the infamous Black Death, like why they got to call it the Black Death.
Oh, can we leave? First of all, that was in Europe, isn't it? Wasn't it through England?
It was in Europe.
Is that considered the Black Plague? Is it the same thing?
I mean, the Black Death caused great destruction across Europe between 1347 and 1351. It's estimated to have killed 75 million to 100 million people. The epidemic started in Southwest Asia.
Interesting.
Why are these diseases starting
in Asia?
Yeah, it was the World Health Organization. They said it was a pandemic yesterday.
Yeah, so it became a pandemic yesterday. Wow. So it reached Europe in the late 1340s. So it's a bacterial disease spread by fleas of rats. That was the Black Death.
Okay, so that's a Black Death. Just the Black Death. That's not not the same as the Black Plague, probably.
So, and here are the symptoms. Victims experienced lung infections, fever, and vomiting blood, and developed scattered black spots across their body.
Oh, that's why it's the Black Death. Black spots, dude. We're getting all racial.
Hey, man. Come on, dude. I mean, we know.
You get black spots. You get black spots.
But you know how history is. We got
dark spots. You would have said,
but we got to check all this stuff because we know sometimes they just throw stuff on there.
Oh, this is the 13th. This is 1340.
Hey, man, they've been messing with us.
Come on, man.
They've been messing with us for a long time.
Oh,
now this disease. Can you pronounce that? The code.
It looks like it's Coco Lizitli.
Similar to the disease caused by Ebola, by the Ebola virus. Remember Ebola?
Remember that?
Yeah, like Ebola, SARS, like all these diseases, come. Now, is this considered worse than Ebola?
Yeah, because it's pandemic now.
Yeah.
It's going and it's more widespread than SARS and what was the other one? Bird flu, or is it the same thing? Remember SARS and then there was bird flu?
Yeah.
Bird flu was my brother was telling me about that. That one had either bird or swine. One of them had like 60% survival rate supposedly. But
that's pretty strong.
But it burned out really fast.
Yeah.
So this Coco Lizitli.
How about we just go CL?
Yeah. Outbreaks swept through Mexico between 1545 and 1548 and killed an estimated 5 million to 15 million of the native population.
That's 3 years.
Making it the worst disease epidemic in the country's history. Characterized by high fevers and bleeding, the mysterious illness came to be known as Coco Lizitli by the native Aztecs.
I was going to say, sounds like an...
the great pestilence.
Because, there was Quetzalcoatl and some of that name sounded like an Aztec. Yeah, after you said Mexico, I was like, I wonder if it's more of an Aztec name.
Yeah, cholera epidemics, that swept through.
It's cholera or cholera?
Cholera. That's how I've known it to be pronounced.
I always thought it was cholera. Okay.
Chris,
can you look that up?
The cholera epidemic that broke out in Asia and in Europe. Let's give Asia a break. Probably the reason why it's happening in places like Asia because of the population. There's just so
and
many.
Even back then, they had much.
It's just they have the biggest population on the planet. So Asia and Europe in 1817 to 1824 killed approximately
7 years.
Yeah, killed approximately 1,500 people, which is not bad.
Oh, that's not bad.
Like 1,500 people isn't a lot. Oh, that's not
Well,
bad compared to the millions. You know
but
what I mean?
what area is that global? Was that global? Or just in Europe?
It says broke out in Asia and
Started in
Europe,
Asia.
killed approximately 1,500 between the years 1899 and 1923. The biggest cholera outbreaks were in Japan in 1817 and in Moscow in 1826, in Berlin, Paris, London. It kind of swept.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Europe.
the cholera epidemic in the Ottoman Empire during the Balkan War also caused many deaths. So smallpox.
Of course. Brought over by the... Is there other than the North America when the settlers came and gave it to the Indians, Native Americans?
Yeah, when they were putting them on blankets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When the white man was doing that, giving them the blankets. What? It's history, man.
Yeah.
There are two types of smallpox. Variola major and variola minor. The disease, which was spread between people or via contaminated objects, was most commonly seen in children. No, Ebola has...
Ebola has 1 to 3% survival.
Survival rate or death?
Oh, survival rate or death rate?
You said survival rate. That's what he wrote. So what is the survival rate for this coronavirus?
Well,
98%.
It's 98% if you go off of them saying that it's double what the flu is, which is the normal flu is 1%. And so they're saying it's double. It was 2 point something.
Well, the infection rate's like 3.4, but the survival rate is 98%. I looked at it today this morning.
Survival. He said. Oh, I guess you guys saw that already.
Yeah.
So the Spanish flu was another top epidemic. Unlike other flu viruses that mainly affect the elderly and children, the Spanish flu pandemic struck young adults and people without immune system problems. Isn't that crazy?
Oh.
It's the complete opposite.
Oh, it's the opposite
of the corona.
Now, in what area was that? Again, Europe again?
This was Spanish flu was caused.
Didn't say where, huh? Where it started?
Where did it start?
It's interesting that it's the Spanish.
Yeah, it doesn't really say where it
originated. Or?
Yeah.
I wonder why it's Spanish.
Spanish
flu, you said?
Yeah, the Spanish flu, and it affected young and people with strong immune systems, which is crazy. And its symptoms included chills, fatigue, nausea, sneezing, wheezing, and coughing. After developing nasty fevers and diarrhea, the sick person's lungs filled with fluid, turning their skin blue. Damn. But it doesn't say why they call it the Spanish flu.
Yeah, but they should have called it the Blue Death.
And here's this. Spanish influenza.
You should have jumped on that. How come they got to do Black Death when their skin turns black, but they don't say the Blue Death when it turns blue?
That's a good point, Johnny. Thank you for having my back.
I'm looking out for you, man.
So listen to how many people the Spanish flu killed. Killing an estimated 50 million to 100 million people in 18 months.
Holy shit.
Some 500 million were estimated to be infected by the virus, and its spread was exacerbated by the ongoing war. Oh, maybe it happened during the Spanish War.
The Spanish.
That's why they call it
the Spanish-American War or the Spanish? No, not the American.
It was between 1918 and 1920.
Oh.
Was that was the war that was basically propagated by there was a movie based on the newspaper magnate. He created the war out of nothing. It was based on a lie.
So here's another epidemic that's on the list. Is of course we know this and a lot of people are familiar with it, and people seem to be more terrified of the coronavirus than this was HIV and AIDS epidemic. About 35 million have died from AIDS or HIV related illnesses since 1981, including, wow, I didn't realize this, including 940,000 in 2017. Almost 1 million people were killed by AIDS in 2017. around 36.9 million people worldwide were reported to be HIV positive in 2014. In 2014.
Wow. That's globally, right?
That's globally. Around the globe, 36.9 million people worldwide were reported. So imagine all the unreported, because some people just don't go to the doctors and.
But that's also too. But they treat it. It's a lot more treatable.
Oh, it's a lot more treatable.
Right.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine, and he has a friend that's been HIV.
Stan's gonna get the Irish flu on March.
Yeah, it's been HIV. Listen to this. He's been HIV for I think 20 years, on medication the whole time, and there's no sign of it in his body anymore.
Oh wow,
interesting. And even when Magic Johnson went through his thing, it just makes you So obviously they've made a lot of strides with HIV.
Yeah, dude, because it was really lethal in the 80s.
And we don't need to go through what HIV does. SARS.
Well, that was the SARS.
The SARS epidemic that began in Hong Kong. Between November 2002 and July 2003, almost became a pandemic after claiming 922 lives. So that shows you the progression of science and medicine. Like back then, they didn't have the technology and the education probably to figure out how to, treat a lot of these illnesses. So that's why so many people died in, the early, in the early days, the 1300s, the 1500s, the 1800s,
Yeah.
So, so to almost consider SARS a pandemic after claiming 922 lives just shows you the difference between 922 to 50 million.
Yeah. Right.
So SARS was contained in 2003. No cases of SARS have been reported since 2004. The spread of SARS has been completely prevented. Unlike smallpox, it is still premature to talk about its eradication. Another one is swine flu.
Okay, so these are all around the same time, right? What year is that?
Well, swine flu, I think, made a comeback because swine flu killed approximately 2 million people between 1957 and 1958, while 1 million people died in the flu outbreaks in Russia and Hong Kong in years 1889 to 1890 and 1968 to 1969, respectively. The swine flu pandemic of 2009 killed an estimated, I didn't know this, 284,500 people.
In
2009, the swine flu.
Okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I didn't realize it was that many.
Me neither. That's a lot. And it was caused by the H1N1 influenza virus. Yeah. Swine flu infected the first known victim in central Mexico in March 2009. By April, it had reached California, infecting a 10-year-old, and then quickly spread around the world, triggering fears and mass panic. The fears reflected the unusual nature of the virus, which contained bits and pieces of bird, swine, and human flu viruses, a combination never before detected. Wow.
Oh, Stan said NCAA just announced that only limited family and essentials can attend the games now. And then the reporters aren't in the locker rooms as well for the sporting before the games, and they're all doing all the interviews post. Hi, Tara.
Hey, Tara.
It's Tara. She says she's from the East Coast. It's Tara, not Tara.
Well, how about I just call her Tara?
Well, backwards it's a rat.
You said it, not me.
I'm kidding, Tara. I'm kidding.
So I didn't realize this about the swine flu, so.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that
it was
big. I remember when that was happening, but it didn't seem like it was.
And here's some of the, and I was doing, all right, I can add something to that joke I was doing, when I do about the diseases. But, man, looking at how long ago I did that and now where we are now.
When you were talking about what diseases?
Remember when I go, the joke that I do about if you could lose weight from some type of virus or disease, and I go,
hey, we would do it. Yeah.
Hey, you would do it in a heartbeat if you knew you'd make a full recovery. That whole bit.
Yeah,
I don't do it all the time, but
was that part of when you were doing the self-diagnosing stuff?
No, this is actually
after.
Yeah, this is after. It's kind of where this is about weight loss and everything.
Okay.
On how a friend of mine, I was like, "Yo, dude, you look good," and I go, "Man, what did you do?" And he goes, "Stomach flu." I'm like, "You can't brag about the stomach flu.
That's right.
You didn't do anything to earn your weight loss." Ebola outbreak.
Wait, what? Ruben says it Tara. You always used to say it's Tara.
Thank you.
Well, I can tell you right now.
Thank you.
In 1998, she came out here from
Tara.
Joyzy.
I believe Tara.
This was when she was living in Joyzy.
I believe
we
Tara.
would go, "Hey, Tara," and she'd go, "It's Tara, guys," and now it's Tara. Oh, I didn't know it was Tara. Okay.
I was going to say that
Interesting.
at first, and then you came with your
Suddenly it's
your
changed.
version.
Suddenly, now this is version number 3, I guess.
So Ebola, the Ebola outbreak that erupted in West Africa between 2013.
Oh, interesting.
No, it's not interesting. 2013 and 2016 caused more than 11,300 deaths. The West African Ebola outbreak started in Guinea in December 2013, and the virus spread to, 28,616 people in West African countries such as Liberia and Sierra Leone. The epidemic that ended in June 2016 was recorded as the deadliest Ebola outbreak in the history in terms of the number of people infected and the amount of deaths. So the 28,616 people were people infected, not necessarily that died. But the Ebola virus was first detected in 1976. Its suspected origin, you want to know the origin of Ebola?
I feel like
Did you know this?
I'm trying to remember when it came out and they were talking about it years back.
And we're just like 4 years removed from this.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
What was it? Am I gonna go? Oh, I remember.
No.
Oh,
I didn't know this at all. You might, because sometimes you look this stuff up. Forest bats. It came from forest bats.
That doesn't sound familiar now.
It is an airborne virus. Woo! Airborne is crazy. Airborne virus, but it's transmitted through blood, vomit, diarrhea, and other bloody fluids. Symptoms generally appear. Listen to this.
I'm not laughing at that.
Follow some people.
Because Chris just goes, ooh.
Yeah, the reason why we're kind of going through this, we kind of want to put Corona in perspective,
where it lies,
you know.
With in other words, we have had there are obviously other diseases that were much more extreme,
and with Ebola, the symptoms generally appear between 2 and 21 days after infection, and recovery greatly depends on the patient's immune response. People who recover from Ebola develop antibodies that last for at least 10 years. Yeah.
So you become immune because you've faced
and now,
it before.
Yeah. Do you have a mic? Are you talking into a mic?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Just want to make sure people hear it, so they know what you're saying.
And that's Chris. Everybody, and Renee chimed in earlier.
Yeah,
and
that was
now
Renee.
we get
Renee.
to the coronavirus, which is COVID-19.
Oh yeah, COVID-19. Right. Which is much easier. I don't know why everybody keeps saying coronavirus. It's so much easier to say COVID-19 or just COVID.
So the virus appeared in Wuhan, China, in late 2019. The new type of coronavirus, which presents itself with symptoms such as a high fever, cough, and subsequent pneumonia, has spread rapidly and affected the whole world. However, especially considering the deadly infectious diseases of the past, the novel coronavirus is nowhere near as dangerous.
Repeat that.
It's nowhere near as dangerous nor as fatal as its predecessors. The COVID-19 coronavirus currently has a mortality rate, Stan was wrong, of...
No, he was talking about Ebola.
Oh, he's talking about Ebola.
Yeah, he was talking about Ebola.
3.4%. The fact that it spreads like wildfire is what makes it dangerous, though, because it spreads quickly.
It spreads quickly.
Officials have not classified. Well, they just recently classified it because this article was from yesterday.
Yeah. It is a pandemic.
But there is fear the number of infections is severely underreported. So even what we know, they still think it's underreported.
So it could be worse than what it is.
Absolutely, because some people probably just
think
they have a cold because the symptoms are of a
It's
regular
like
cold,
it's like
of
the
a regular flu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think the important thing is, it's not killing young people or people that are in good condition. It's affecting that elderly
people
mostly.
over 65. We just talked about that, Tara. They closed USC and UCLA as well. She's over in Maryland.
Oh, wow.
She's in Ocean City, Maryland.
Well, here's the thing. I think the message is,
and sporting events too. If you didn't hear us, sporting events, they're not going to, some of them are the basketball and college, not going to have fans in the stands.
So I think the message here is take precaution. Obviously.
Yeah, and you know how paranoid I've been for the last 5 or so years. So I would do this it's an easy transition for me just because Ruben would tell you, every flu season from October to April and come to the comedy clubs and they'd be, hey, what's up, John? I'd be like, and I'd go like that. Flu season.
Yeah, but
or even if I had a cold, I wouldn't even I wouldn't touch anybody, period. I'd just be like, hey, I got a cold, man. Whatever.
So we're going to keep this episode short because me and Johnny need to go chop some wood and hunt.
Yeah, because we got to get all that done before dark.
Yeah.
And then we're going to boil in kettles. We're going to boil the water.
Boil our water.
And when we hunt the food, hunt the animals, we're going to make sure they're cooked properly, not freshly killed, eating raw, which is how this got started in Wuhan.
Well, I'm going vegan during this whole thing.
Oh, you're going vegan?
Yeah.
He go vegan. What was your mom? Francis? What's your mom's name?
Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen. Helen, but my father said Ellen.
Let's go eat King Burger.
King Burger.
King Burger.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have the accent.
So here's some precautions. Everybody's doing the Purell.
Yeah, a lot of hand sanitizer.
And we'll say hand
whatever
sanitizer,
you
whatever you call it. Hand sanitizer.
I got the fancy stuff still.
People are doing the disinfectant wipes, which are effective also. Lysol carries some good ones. But one thing that I've been doing for years, and maybe because we travel a lot, is I've always carried many things of Lysol. So one thing that you can do, especially if you're traveling, hotels
you mean the spray?
Yeah,
the little spray can?
The little spray.
Yeah.
And they can go through TSA, no problem. And
long as it's under 3 ounces, right?
Yeah. Well, they sell them in travel size.
It's travel size. That's right.
And
at Rite Aid and Walgreens.
One thing that I've always done for years, when I go into a hotel, I spray the remote in a hotel because remotes are filthy. Remote controls are filthy. Yeah. You know, people pick their nose, touching their balls. You know, if it's a woman,
watching
she's
the porn,
probably,
watching porn and doing something.
Yeah. So could you imagine if they put one of those lights on a remote? Yeah. So I spray down the remotes every hotel I go to. I spray down the remotes. I spray the telephone.
Yeah, the telephone.
And I spray all the handles that I'll touch. Like I'll spray the faucets in the bathroom.
You've been doing better than me. Okay.
I'll spray the door. And I just learned something today from a friend of mine who travels also. These are some tips. Do you know, I guess they did some research. Do you know the dirtiest place inside of a hotel room?
Oh, in a hotel.
And for you guys who are listening, chime in on this also. What's the dirtiest place in a hotel room?
I hope it's not the bed.
Well, we know the history of that. Yeah, but hopefully they change the sheets or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that.
Oh, the glasses.
No.
Oh.
The area on the carpet when you first get out of the bed. So when you say you wake up and you're sitting at the edge of the bed, usually probably next to the nightstand.
Yeah.
That area on the floor,
tested,
is the filthiest place in a hotel room. They find semen there, all type of stuff.
This is the worst episode. It's all disease, death, sperm.
Yeah. So my friend for years, what she does is she takes a towel and puts it right on the floor where her feet are going to land when she gets up in the morning. I had no idea, but it makes perfect sense. You know, people probably cut their toenails there, you know, jizz in there. Who knows? Blowing snot, flicking boogers. People are gross, man. And here's the thing.
They get grosser in hotel rooms because it's not their place.
Theirs. How many times do people, you know, probably dig in their nose and wipe it on the remote or wipe it on the nightstand or
yeah.
gross.
I've seen some on the walls. And you go, oh, that person just went like that.
Yeah.
But right near the curtain.
And you know, and let me just say this, people. And this is a simple thing, but it's amazing how many people don't do it. And I was just in a public bathroom on Monday. People don't wash their hands.
Oh, Chris and I were just having this conversation.
People do not wash their hands.
Well, you're talking men because you're in a public.
Yeah, and men.
And Chris and I both said we've seen the dudes that walk out of the stall and not wash their hands.
You know where I see it a lot?
You're a disgusting pig.
You know where I see it a lot?
Period, but let alone in the stall, man.
I've been in airports and see guys get out of the stall, finish peeing, don't wash their hands, and then you walk out and you see them grabbing their wife's hand, picking up their kid.
We were just talking about this dude at the airport. I brought up the airport. He brought up the bars.
And dude, I've been thinking this for years, and I had my friend down yesterday. There's so many times where I feel like going, hey, he didn't wash his hands. I feel like ratting them out.
Yeah. People
do not wash their hands. It only takes a moment, man.
You know what? I called out this man one time. He was probably in his 50s, wasn't that old, but he farted really loud, and I felt like he was farting at us. It was myself and Rudy Moreno and Debbie Gutierrez as we landed in Tucson, Arizona. For some reason, I felt like he did it to us because he was walking and he did a little twist. He went like that. And I go, oh, hey, this guy and I yelled it out in the airport, and everybody turned around. I go, that guy right there. That dude just ripped a huge fart. He just walked, didn't turn, didn't say a word.
You called him out? Good for you.
Called him out in the airport, dude. Because it was the way he threw. It was like he was doing it at us.
Okay, good for you.
He kind of shifted and he went like that.
Now, this is how I am about washing hands, and I'm not trying. I'm
drive-by farting at my ass.
And here's the thing. I'm not a germaphobe. Like, there's some people who are germaphobes that are probably terrified. I mean, can you think about Howie Mandel right now?
He's probably in a hazmat suit.
He's in a hazmat suit right now. Because Howie Mandel, if you guys don't know.
See, Eric said the glasses.
Yeah.
The glasses in the hotels, too. There's this thing where they said they don't clean
I never touch hotel. I don't think I've ever.
If I use those glasses, I actually get the soap and I clean them out myself.
I don't use the hotel glasses. But it's just so interesting how people don't wash their hands. And this is how much I am about. Even if I get up in the middle of the night to go pee, I'll wash my hands before I go back to bed.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't because they're sleeping or whatever, but it's just a habit.
Sometimes I'm too tired to do that.
But
so
you know where it comes
back
from?
in the bed,
you know where it comes from for me? Yeah. My parents.
Man. Oh.
Yeah, man.
You clean your hands.
You nasty. You know wash your hands. Cochon, which is pig.
Oh.
Cochon.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't
that funny? Because in Spanish, this is with me. I think it might be slang, but you know, cochino is dirty.
Yeah. So cochon. Cochon. It's pig.
Cochino.
Cochon.
I think a pig is marrano in Spanish, right?
Yeah. So
right, Chris?
Yeah. And hearing,
I believe so.
And just hearing words like that in another language just make it seem like it's the filthiest thing. So it's always about washing your hands. You know,
you just almost touched your eye right now.
So it's about washing your hands and just being aware. Like, I'd come sit down to eat. My mom, you wash your hands? And you're like, oh.
Yeah, we were the same way, dude.
Yeah.
It's why, and we actually, even if we were just sitting watching TV in the living room, and then, of course, you know, we did the big family dinner, right? Every night was dinner. And then my mom would go, okay, dinner's ready, kids. And then we'd all get up, and we're just sitting on the couches, on the beanbag, whatever. And then my parents would go, did you guys wash your hand? We all had to go one by one into the bathroom, wash our hands, and then come and eat. Yeah.
So, but I wonder now, well, the reason why is because our parents were very much aware of the epidemics that occurred early on.
Right.
And I'm sure now the parents, after dealing with this coronavirus, are going to be much more conscious in making sure their kids, because I think there's been a gap where
Nothing
people haven't
really-
been teaching hygiene and like, yo,
Yeah.
you need to wash your hands.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you tell kids you need to wash your hands, you need to explain why. My parents used to explain why your hands needed to be washed.
Right.
You know what I mean? She would talk about bacteria and, you can get sick and all these things. And my mom worked at a hospital also.
Sure.
She was the head
So there
baker.
were extra.
So there was extra things that made my mom so much more
Because I don't remember
precautionary.
doing a whole lot of hand washing at grammar school, at school.
Oh, really?
We would do a little bit, like in the bathroom, but then sometimes we would just turn the drinking faucet, and we would just go like that if our hands were dirty.
In the drinking faucet, you guys would do that?
Yeah. Hey, it's grammar
Jeez.
school.
We'd get in
Remember
trouble,
the
man.
remember the 3 faucet, coffee, tea, soda pop, pee? Did you guys do that?
I remember that.
Remember,
Well,
everybody would get there at the same time, and then one kid would go, coffee, tea, soda pop, pee. You're drinking pee. Ruben's drinking pee. Anyway,
So, anyway, guys, take precautions, but I don't think we need to be in a panic over this.
I just think, I know it sounds crazy to cancel concerts, and the sporting events thing is crazy, the no studio audience. But with all that, I feel like I go ahead and make an announcement. I'm going to do my own comedy special. It's going to be the coronavirus comedy special. No audience. I'm just going to take myself on stage by myself. It's history making. It's groundbreaking. It's trailblazing. And people are going to look back 10 years from and go, remember Johnny Sanchez did the very first
you know what you should
pandemic
do? Johnny, I got
hour
you.
special?
I got you. The first pandemic special, live streamed. Live stream it so you can get the audience's reaction from online.
That would actually be really cool.
So what do they do? So then they just do the emoji hands?
Just how people chime in. People go ha 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 ha.
Okay,
or,
they go when they laugh, they go ha ha ha.
Yeah.
If they like it and an applause break, they just put the emoji
they
hands.
Put the emoji clapping.
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you suck, they'll just write suck.
Do that?
not
No, they
funny.
just do what audiences normally do nowadays, which is
Or
Oh.
they'll use the emoji with just the eyes and no mouth. They'll just put that up.
Oh, that you like to use?
No, I like to use the one with the straight mouth. Like the
straight mouth.
The
I'm talking
deadpan
about
face.
you just use the one with the eyes like this.
Well, that's for a different reason.
And then they could use the rolling eyes emoji. But anyway,
yeah.
look for it. It's going to be Johnny Sanchez live pandemic.
The pandemic special.
The pandemic. I'll come up with a better name. I just came up with that right now. But anyway.
So take care of yourselves, people. If you're traveling.
Yeah. I did want to say.
Go ahead.
Is that all right?
Go ahead.
I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, but only because I just wanted to acknowledge one of my best friends when I was I met him early, somewhere around first grade or whatever. Anyway, we went to grammar school. Junior, I used to ride my bike to his place. He was the kid that I told you he had a single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one. He had an older brother. His name is Marcus, and whisper out Marcus, and his older brother had the Cheech and Chong albums and the Richard Pryor album. So he's the guy that I was
Introduced
first
you to
listening.
comedy?
Correct. So I got to hear stuff that I wouldn't. But anyway, his mom, who was a single mom, was the coolest. She never put pressure. It was my escape house because I had a strict, and his mom was so nice. But anyway, I saw him post something yesterday where he was going to plant a plum tree with his mom's ashes. I had no idea his mom passed away. So I messaged him and I go, hey, so for some reason she passed in November and I didn't know. And I was like, hey man, I wish you would have, told me. But anyway, he lives in Kingman, Arizona. And I always thought that at some point I'd do a show near there and I'd be able to revisit her. Cause every time he and I would communicate, I'd be like, tell your mom, Eloise, I said hello. She was the best person, dude. That always nice, always welcoming.
Yeah.
Didn't, he and I doing stuff we shouldn't be doing, and she never said a word. And I just want to, just do a rest in peace to Eloise because she just did not judge him or let him do whatever. And they ended up having a great relationship, mother-son relationship, man. And it was so weird because I didn't know yesterday, and I was like, dude, I wish you would. He was like, he didn't really explain anything, but I figured maybe he just didn't know that it would impact me that much, I guess, or that I would be thinking about her. So,
I mean, you're lucky to have somebody like that. I was fortunate enough to have, places to go. Because, I'm not going to get into my backstory, but, my parents traveled a lot. So sometimes you need that haven outside of your normal family structure.
Yeah, totally.
And you learn different things. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Exactly. It's like, man, my parents would never let me do that.
Right.
And it has he
had, R-rated movies and stuff before I would, be able to go watch them at a his brother would rent some and stuff like that. So,
well, for me, years ago, I mean, I've been blessed enough to have, but a good friend of mine, I used to spend a lot of time, especially my junior high school years, and Gloria Dumas, who we lost a few years back, was that type of person to me. Like, but she wasn't a single parent, but it was kind of that, just somebody who welcomed you into their home when you couldn't be at your own home or didn't want to be at your own home.
It was that escape, you know, and I would ride I could walk there, but I would ride my bike there a lot, and she would always big smile. Johnny, how are you?
Yeah, come in. Are you hungry? You want something to eat?
You guys want to eat? You guys go ahead and eat. Do whatever we're rocking out to music in his room. We're blasting. She never knocked on the door and said, Marcus, the only thing, I had a running joke with her for years and years and years. She would always come out of her room or whatever, and she had just a slight accent, really beautiful woman too, but she'd always go, Marcos, clean up your room, Marcos,
because you have company coming over.
Yeah, I guess that was what. But she always told him to clean up. That was the only thing I ever heard her tell him to do, was clean up his room. That was it. But anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge her because what
was her name?
Eloise.
Eloise, rest in peace, Eloise.
Rest in peace, Eloise, and thank you for allowing me to have my escape, man, which formed my comedy. Mm-hmm. I tell Marcus that. I've told him that. He used to come see me at the Sacramento Punchline, and I acknowledge him on stage a few times. I said, this dude here, man, I'm listening to Cheech and Chong and Richard Pryor when I shouldn't have been. I was 12, 13, whatever.
That's like my friend Demetrius, who you met. You met him at a bunch of Ruby Tuesday shows. Okay. Bigger dude, big boisterous laugh. He loves you. He listens to the podcast and everything. But it was because of him, that I got introduced to Red Frocks and Richard Pryor, because those things did not exist in my house.
There's no way you could have that in place. Neither one of us could.
His mom would be at work. And he even told his mom, I think he brought his mom to one of my shows, and he was like, yo, we used to sneak in. She's like, where'd you listen to that stuff? I was like, your house when you were at work. He used to put those albums on, man, so I can relate. Man. But rest in peace, man. It's amazing.
Rest in peace, Eloise.
The impact you can have on somebody's life and not even realize it. And obviously your friend didn't even realize it, but that's something that
he probably didn't think that it would have, that I needed to know. And I'm just like, dude. So anyway, but he did plant that plum tree. It's one of those flower plum trees, and I'm gonna have to ask him, but I feel like they had 1 or 2 plum trees in their backyard, and I'm thinking maybe that's the reason. Maybe that was her favorite tree, was the plum tree. But anyway, all right, that's what's up, chat.
This has been a very uplifting episode. But
Tara was like, "Hey, you're gonna make us all use hand sanitizer."
But it's we can't ignore it.
I'm sorry, Tara. I apologize. I said Tara. I apologize, Tara.
When they started canceling sports events, that's kind of when you know how much we love our sports, and they've done it abroad. I know it was a soccer game that they
and now they're keeping an eye because of the Summer Olympics. Now I don't think they should cancel them, but it's okay to not have the fans there.
Well, there's always
let those athletes do their thing, man. They've been waiting. Some been waiting for the last 4 years. Some been waiting their whole life.
But here's the thing about the Summer Olympics, which is interesting about Japan.
Oh, that's right. It's in Japan.
Yeah, some of the areas that, they're building and having events, there's still remnants of radiation in some of those places after the major earthquake that's in the soil. Uh-huh. So people have already been like, yo, should we really be doing it in Japan? Should we, you know what I mean? So now this on top of that, who knows what's gonna happen? But take care of yourself.
Poor athletes, man. Anyway, if they do cancel,
but it's the simplest things can keep you safe, and that's just good hygiene.
And don't touch
washing your hands, not touching your face, rubbing your eyes,
Especially
and
when you
putting
go
your
in-
hands in your mouth.
Yeah, hands exactly.
So
Exactly.
take care of yourselves. I'm traveling to Minnesota, so if you guys are in Minnesota and not afraid, come out, live your life. You got to live your
you're
life,
gonna
man.
be at the
About the House of Comedy.
the House of Comedy.
Which is located inside the Mall of America.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there Thursday through Sunday. 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday at the House of Comedy in Minneapolis, technically Bloomington, inside the
right.
Mall of America, the House of Comedy inside the Mall of America. I'll be there Thursday through Sunday. So come out, get some laughs, escape.
What's the What's the weather?
It's 40 degrees right now.
Oh, that's not
and a
too
little,
bad.
little rainy. Didn't
Yeah.
see anything about snow, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, safe travels.
Thank you, guys.
And they're cleaning the planes now.
Yeah,
So
they're
you're-
cleaning the
yeah,
planes,
you know,
and I'm sure
between-
they're using extra
Which
precautions
they
in
should
the
have
hotel
been
room.
doing this the entire time.
time.
I used to sit there and go, I used to use my own little wipes on the armrests and on the trays. And
Absolutely.
people used to look at me like I was a weirdo.
Yeah.
And now look. And by the way, oh yeah, Jimmy Kimmel with his L bump that he said he created. I've been doing that for 5 years. Jimmy Kimmel.
It's been going on for
By
a
the
long time.
way, mine was called the L Bro. What's up? Give me the L Bro. What's up?
All right. It's time for us to go. So take care of yourselves, people. This is the best of everything with Ruben Paul and Johnny Sanchez. Tell a friend, share the podcast, and
we'll be back into the city.
Yes.
Obviously,
yeah.
we're gonna stay out in the
For
country.
you guys who
for
are
a little-
watching us,
Yeah.
you know we're not in our normal location.
Ruben is actually gonna hang glide from the mountain to the airport. So just to avoid everybody.
Yeah, but take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, and be careful out there. And still live your life. Don't live a life of panic and
Bye, Tara.
being held up inside your homes. Get out. Laughter is good. Exercise is good. Take care of yourselves. We out.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays.